Hey, so good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I am going to introduce myself because this video is actually intended for two groups of students, um, including civil engineering and architecture students at Woodrow who have been in my classes this year. And we are also inviting our friends at Hillcrest High School who've been taking CEA with Miss Combs over there. So this video is intended for both of you groups. And again, my name is Dan Garrison. I've been teaching at Woodrow for the last 6 years. I've been teaching another PLTW course, Principles of Engineering, that some of you may know, and coach robotics over here. And you know, we're all, first of all, want to say that I hope everyone is doing well, staying safe and healthy and sane at home during this distance learning shelter in place reality that's come to us courtesy of the COVID-19 global pandemic. And I have a really exciting announcement today for what we're going to do. And of course, as I'm sure Ms. Combs would and has been saying, we'd much rather be together in the classroom in person, but that's not our situation because it would be better together. But we're going to do another version of better together because we have the option to do that. With this current reality, we don't necessarily have to pay attention to campus walls that are normally in place. So Ms. Combs and I and some other engineering teachers from across DISD and around the DFW have been talking about how can we take full advantage of this unique opportunity and window that we have. It's an historic time in the world. And so we wanted to put an option out there that matches the opportunity that we currently all have. And so what I'm going to do in just a second is walk through. I'm going to share my screen and walk everyone through a new project option that's going to be done on a different together basis, and it's going to be better together. And I'll explain that in a moment. But for some of you, this won't apply. At least in my courses, the friends at Hillcrest over there have not gotten started or had a chance to work on the Keystone renovation project yet. But as many of you know who are Woodrow students in CEA, we've been working on that since January. So those of you who have Revit available on a computer system at home and have chosen to go forward with that, this doesn't apply to you unless you choose at this point, and you still have the option to join us in this project, which is going to be very unique. So you can listen to, or you can tune this out if you're like, nope, I'm too invested. I want to go ahead and finish my Keystone renovation project, and I certainly applaud you for that if that's your choice. But this is a really unique opportunity, and so there's a number of better together options. We're going to be forming teams across campuses between CEA students that are at Hillcrest and at Woodrow, and we're going to use a model that we're borrowing from a program called ACE mentoring. Some of you have heard of that. We had several of our students here at Woodrow participate in that with great success and tons of learning outside the classroom. And I'll talk more about that. Also, ACE stands for Architecture, Construction, and Engineering, and it's a mentoring program that took place for 20 weeks after school every Tuesday or Wednesday night around the Metroplex, where professional mentors brought groups of students from all around Dallas together to form teams to work on a joint venture project that this year was focused on helping solve the food desert problem in West Dallas. And at the end of that, there was a culminating project that included a poster and a video. And some of you have seen that before, either in my classroom or Ms. Combs introduced that to those of you at Hillcrest to see what that looked like. And I'm going to share my screen, and then we're going to walk through how we're going to borrow that model and put it towards this project that we're going to call the COVID-19 Emergency Medical Facility Project that you can see. I'm going to grab something to move my cursor around. It might be a little more obvious here. So you can have a look. That's what we're calling this. And it's really a substitute project for what would have been CEA 4.1, the commercial design facility project that would have come in this final 6 weeks for a number of you. So we're going to point this open design project using the ACE mentor model that is going to form teams that have a number of deliverables for different aspects of this project on something that's incredibly super relevant right now, and it's actually underway around our city, and that's been around underway around the world over the past couple of months. So I'm not going to read all this. You can read this yourself, but if you want to go take a look at part of what inspired this is seeing what they did in China to put 2 brand new hospitals up and running in less than 10 days. And there's been other efforts around the world to do things similarly, like South Korea actually put a testing facility that they iterated over time and ultimately was able to test 10 times the amount of people because some really thoughtful professionals and engineers came together and said, how can we improve things? So with these examples, you can go take a look, and Ms. Combs and I would submit that a critical question that any of us should be asking right now, whether we're professional engineers or not, is what are the wisest options for potential additional emergency healthcare facilities for residents of our Metroplex in the face of this pandemic? And so your work on this project is mainly pointed at creating solutions that could help answer that question. So we have a few goals here that's going to include teams. So that'll be teams made up of a couple folks from a couple students from Woodrow, a couple students from Hillcrest. We're looking to have teams of at least 3 to 5. It would be ideal if it was kind of 2 and 2, but Ms. Combs and I are actually going to kind of hold a draft of all those students who have opted in or at this point are going forward without Revit on my end. So you guys will be taking that option for the last stretch of our school year here in 2019-2020. So we will be applying work from our prior projects. In fact, I'm going to switch over to a different version of this document that we will be sharing with you. And so, of course, we want to see you apply work that you've done from other projects this year onto this project, and then you'll be gaining new knowledge and practicing skills like problem definition and solving, design thinking, teamwork, responding and receiving feedback from and presenting to an audience of peers and professionals, because at the end, we're going to have 2 deliverables that your project teams will produce, which are these exemplar posters and these video, there'll be a poster and a video. We have exemplars that I'm just going to, you can open this link once you have access to this document, and you'll see there's a short video that a team, we have the winner from this year's program from around the Metroplex. It happened to be a team from Woodrow, and we're obviously proud of them. Evelyn and Ruby were part of a team called Team 910, and we have an exemplar from them that we'll be able to access to see what is this supposed to look like when we're done with this work. And you can go study the poster and have a look at the video to see what we're looking for you as teams to produce by the time we're done with this project. There will be a number of aspects or components to this project, including researching together. So you can choose a site type and a location after you do some research for where should that be? Where should we put that? Should it be on the west side of the Metroplex? Should it be central? Should it be east? Where do you think it should be? And then developing a site context plan, formulating a budget, a schedule, creating concept images and precedents. And then we're asking you to step up, those of you who might have access to 3D modeling software, whether it be Revit, SketchUp, Onshape, or you might even opt for hand sketching. And we're going to be asking you to develop floor plans, site plans, building sections, structural system drawings, and some renderings if the software is available. And then we want you to research and create an MEP plan. There's a few constraints. I'm not going to highlight all this. You can read this stuff. But the teamwork, again, is key, because we think things are better together. And this is not going to be just together across campus. It's going to be together with a group of professional mentors who have already committed to invest their time on a regular basis with teams. So we want to see everybody take full advantage of that. This is an incredibly unique opportunity in this season to do something relevant, that your learning will actually go towards this historic time and presenting solutions around a problem that is active in our community across the Metroplex. And again, for those of you who might be seniors, I would encourage and invite you to take the grading considerations that, that will certainly be a part of this, and put those in the back seat. And what you want to put in the front seat is the opportunity to learn, work together with peers, work together with professionals, and put something on your own, in your own learning journey, and something that you can look back on during this time and say, hey, when people ask you, what did you do during the COVID-19 global pandemic of 2020? You can say, well, I got together with a group of folks when I was in high school, and I helped prepare a solution for an emergency medical facility, and I learned a ton. I built relationships. I actually got to do something productive, and yeah, I got some grades, but I would suggest that is currently secondary. So we are going to roll out this basic schedule. If you look right here, there is a project schedule that will start. Really, week 1 is kind of currently under construction because we're introducing this, and honestly, I wish I would have put this out sooner, but we've all been making a ton of adjustments over the last couple of weeks. So next week, we will have our team selection. We're going to announce that in a joint Zoom call with all who can join us. So we're asking you to schedule it right now, 10:30 next Wednesday. And next Wednesday would be the 15th of April. So at 10:30 on Zoom, Ms. Combs and I, and any mentors that may be able to join us are going to be on that call when we will announce. We're going to have kind of like a kickoff, like it's almost like the NFL draft since we don't have one. We're going to, hey, here's the teams we've drafted for these project teams, and then we will be setting up a regular cadence for you to interact with your mentors, and then you'll be asked to get together and conduct an initial team meeting to discuss the deliverables we're asking of you, and then start assigning owners for those. And then each week there'll be some deliverables due, and that'll be taken care of over these 3 work weeks, 2 to 4, and then week 5, which is actually basically a month from now, we will be asking for a final presentation that we want to conduct by a live video conference with your teams, all the other teams, of course, your teachers, whatever. Hopefully all the mentors could join us. We're going to invite other guests from the community, and even your parents, if they're available, to come join us for that. So you can stay tuned for more details on that, but we are super excited because this is something we've never done before, to have a cross-campus collaborative project that is going to have professional support from around our city, from friends of ours who have already, like I said, agreed. And Ms. Combs and I are super excited. We hope you are too. For those of you who raise your hand and say you're opting in, or if this is the choice that your teachers made for you, which is going to be the case both for a group of my students, because you guys don't have Revit at home to continue on Keystone, and for Ms. Combs' class, this is how we're going to roll. So we really are excited about this, and I'm just about as excited about this as anything as I've done all year, because this is incredibly relevant during this historic time, and we're excited for all of you to join us. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now and come back and just say, I hope everyone will lean all the way in on this project. There's a ton to learn. It's an important problem to work on solving, and also to gain some new skills interacting with peers that we don't know yet, and professionals that we don't know yet, but who are generously volunteering their time to work on an important problem that is real and active, not just in our community, but around the world. So we look forward to our first call next Wednesday. That'll take place again at 10:30. Mark your calendars and get ready to get after it, because this final 6 weeks in this final project, that's what we're going to focus on. So we look forward to that, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you next Wednesday.